I'm whispering just a little bit because my kids are asleep. Everybody's asleep. And I just finished watching Mea Culpa, which the whole Copa aspects of it reminds me of a play on Griselda Blanco, how they have capos and, Copa. It just feels like, you know, gangsterish a little bit. And let me back this up. Can I can I say I watched the movie in its entirety. I did pause it once because my son was coughing a little bit and I had to check on him. And trying to get this other light going. Let's see how this works. Oh, that's better. I am big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. And there was a time where I did tons of movie reviews, Netflix reviews, all kind of reviews. And I'm doing another one now. It's been a while, but I am definitely in the mood to talk about the latest installment of Tyler Perry's, what he has to offer. And let me start off by saying, why do we keep letting Tyler Perry make these movies, these trash ass movies? This movie was trash. Kelly Rowland was refreshing. She was very, very good in her role, so to speak. Um, Her weave was beautiful, looked very expensive. Um, Her clothing, her outfits were pretty spot on. She looked like the character, she looked like, I think she was playing a younger person, but possibly not. Maybe she was right on board. Well, she had no children. And I believe the character could have been an attorney for a defense attorney for a high end firm. One of the, she was like a partner. I could see that. Um, I will say that Kevin Samuels was right. She is much more attractive than her counterpart. Let's just say that, or her counterparts. Should have brushed my face, but what you gonna do? It's 4 in the morning, and yeah, she's definitely a nine. That's a fact. She's a very attractive, good-looking woman who did a great job. I never. It took. It was really quickly before I stopped thinking about who she was and just was into her character. So that's good. Her husband was unbelievable. His character was just so trash. His emotional aspects of it. He was some half white, half black guy. And his brother, another mulatto. And then there was the mother, which was Kelly Rowland's mother in law, Mia's mother in law, who played this evil, contentious, horrible human being. And I must say, I didn't care for her character. I didn't have any real emotion about her character. It was just more like it. I think her character had too much screen time. Honestly, she had the worst wig you can ever see, The redhead wig looked trash, but she's supposed to be a person going through chemo, so you're gonna excuse the hard wig a little bit. But it also felt like Tyler Perry's gonna put in the white woman in the wig so that the black women could say, "You see, we're not the only ones that wear wigs. They wear them too." And then there was the sister-in-law, Kelly Rowland's husband's brother's wife. Totally unbelievable character. Totally no chemistry whatsoever. They try to give them some chemistry at the beginning in the dinner table when they went out to the mother's birthday dinner, where the son surprised her with a $20,000 watch. And he's supposed to be unemployed with no work for quite some time and is lying to the family about not having work. And also, here's another thing, the brother in law, so Kelly Rowland's husband's brother, is a district attorney. The same district attorney who's prosecuting Kelly Rowland's new client, who she's very reluctant to defend because it's a murder, and just tons of press. He's being followed by the paparazzi. Blah blah blah. He's living in a loft, which happens to be the same place that the supposed murder took place of his girlfriend, where the body is missing, but there's brain particles embedded into the painting because he's just like artist. He's not a Basquiat or anything like that. He's more um I don't know. It's more like photorealism meets abstract, but not abstract Picasso abstract. It's more like it was trash. It wasn't even believable that this guy was the artist. His beard was perfect, lined up every scene. Every scene, this guy's beard was so perfectly lined up and Beijinged out, and his hair was always perfect. And Kelly Rowland meets him at his loft so they can talk about the case, and he's seducing her. And it was so not realistic or unbelievable whatsoever that this woman is going to be seduced by this client of hers. And he uses the weakest game. Close your eyes. And I'm going to give you a paintbrush. You choose a color, and we're going to just paint. And then she finds out that he's done that same move on everyone else, which it was crystal clear to a duck that this is what he does. He makes these moves on women all the same way. It's like, everybody has like this formula that always works, and he obviously has a formula that works on women and art and painting and closing your eyes and picking a color. And I have to admit, though, the way he was seducing her, he was super aggressive with her. Like, come on, get your coat, let's go. And he was super aggressive, and he was like, in his building, in his loft. Well, he had like a duplex space in a loft, or maybe it was not even a duplex. It was just like stairs built in bedroom area on the top. It looked more like it's supposed to be, I guess, and then it had the elevator that goes right to his floor or his section. It was so staged. The lighting, everything about it just looked phony and fake, and I wasn't impressed in any way, shape, or form by this guy's loft and the music he's playing, and he's obviously trying to seduce his attorney. And he winds up going to one of the other loft areas in the building, and there's this huge, like, sex group situations happening everywhere. Let me just lower it. I don't want the ceiling to be too high. So there's like these group sexual things happening, and men and women are behind these curtains, and the light is showing, casting shadows, so you can kind of see what's going on in the room, and it was debauchery. It was sex acts, lewd sex acts, and things like that. And some guy approaches her about like having sex with her, and she just leaves this situation. But it brought on this very intense sexual, like you go to a place like that, you're gonna want to leave and get something done. Next scenes that they show her husband putting in that work on Kelly, and he's like humping her, and she has her legs wide open, and then it cuts to the scene where he finishes, and he's like catching his breath, and his chest is just like he just put in so much work. And her hair was exactly the same. She didn't have her hair up in any way, shape, or form. And she gets up off the bed, and you can see she had on some sort of bottoms that they faded. It was like, and I rewinded 3 times to see, and it was clear that she was wearing bottoms when she got out that bed. It wasn't her naked rear end showing or anything like that. Top of the morning, sir. Thank you. Dot focus. And it was pretty clear that she was wearing something underneath. And then there was another scene where she was supposed to be, where the guy finally seduces her because she finds out that the husband is at a hotel with her rival. The mother always wanted him to be with this other girl who happened to be there for the mother's birthday party. And she also saw him playing video games with the girl. They were streaming some sort of, Call of Duty style game. And so that was planting all these seeds of infidelity. And then we get introduced to her, like her private eye that works directly with her business, with her law firm. And he was following him at one time, and there was a situation where they went out to dinner, where the husband and some other woman went out to dinner. Now he's letting her know, mind you, the guy's not even in town. He's not even in Chicago. He's out of town, calling her up, talking about, yeah, this is your husband. He's at this hotel, and this is the room he's in. So it's like he's like paying people to watch the husband while he's not around, even though he's not being paid to watch the husband any longer. So, we got some simp, obviously, into Kelly Rowland and willing to destroy her relationship in order to, like, slide in. And Kelly Rowland, I keep calling her, instead of Mia. Well, Kelly Rowland's character, she finds out he's at a hotel, didn't find out any other information, didn't go to the hotel, didn't confront him. She went back to the client's house, the one who's there for the murder, so to speak. And or he's going to trial on murder, which we know there's no way. I mean, even if he would have made the bail, they would have not allowed him to go back to the loft, where this is a potential place where the jury might have to go to look around and see. There was supposedly blood that dripped through the floor to the other loft down underneath him. It was so much blood, and there was skull fragments in the paintings. So you're looking at this guy like, whoa, this guy's, whoa. When she comes back to the house, to his loft, after finding out the husband was at a hotel, with what she thought was a woman, which he wasn't. He was there. There was like, it was a family situation that they were all getting together. And so the guy, her private eye, gave her wrong information. And she used that wrong information as the catalyst to go cheat, though, to go run and have this affair. And she has the affair, and he like pours paint all over her and throws a canvas on the ground, and they have this passionate, uh, intercourse, and I have to tell you, it was pretty hot. I was about to wake wifey up and, you know, put in a little work myself. It was a good scene. And one thing about Tyler Perry is he's going to show not the woman's body, he's going to show the man's body. You're going to see the rear end of a man putting in mad work on a Tyler Perry movie, you know, like as far as like boobs and all that kind of stuff. And a woman, you know, putting in the work, you're not going to really see that. All the men that Tyler Perry hire has to have an 8 pack. And I thought it was a little comical. Like it's gonna be homoerotic when Tyler Perry directs a movie. That's what you're gonna get. And but nevertheless, it was a good scene. To see Kelly Rowland in that position and all that kind of stuff. It seemed realistic. There was one little part where I was like, it was like the foot. You know how you arch the foot, and there was just this overarching of her foot that left it where you can see, how when a woman does a lot of modeling, the toes have that little, they like bend a little bit more knuckly, and they have like the definition here and here on the toes, whereas it wasn't like smooth. It was like kind of like, you know. And I was like, is that a body double? Is that really Kelly Rowland's foot? I found myself curious about that. And the 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 brother-in-law who's the district attorney, very aggressive, very super aggressive. Like he's the kind of guy. Well, it's a Tyler Perry movie, so all the men in the Tyler Perry movie are gonna slap the woman. They're gonna slap that woman no matter what. There's no way to get around that. If you're gonna be in a Tyler Perry movie, you're gonna be a man that beats women. He's gonna figure out a way for him to get the man to put in some sort of horrible work. The only thing missing from this movie was the openly gay person, like her assistant. He didn't appear to be gay or anything like that, which is the only formula that Tyler Perry said, well, I'm gonna have no gay men in this movie. I'm just I'm gonna still keep it where men are gonna beat women's asses, definitely. So the movie takes a weird turn after she admits to sleeping with the artist. She somehow finds herself at a resort, and then while walking, because she left the case because she supposedly told the judge, listen, I had an affair with my client, I got to get out of this case. So she let the case go, and she takes a trip to the Dominican Republic. While there's a scene of the camera on the beach where the camera is panning while she's in all red. So it's like they didn't need her to blend in with anybody because this was going to be like one take, maybe 2 takes the most. And it looked like it was done on an iPhone, respectfully. What do I know? But it looked like it was done on an iPhone. And this iPhone scene was just a panning of the beach. And as they pan the beach, she's in all red from head to toe, this Mia character, Kelly Rowland's character. And as she's walking, there's a woman walking by her, dressed in her housekeeping outfit, that happened to be the girl that this guy's on trial for in Chicago. So you telling me that Mia takes a quick trip just to clear her head from confessing that she cheated on her husband and dropping the case of the man who seduced her, which she find out he seduced everyone the same exact way. That was his motive operandi, I guess, so to speak, his MO. And I thought it was so like trash how she bumps into the girl. So she calls her private investigator. Well, when she bumps into the girl winds up like fighting her, like pushing her down. Mind you, Mia is mad athletic. Okay, you this athletic lawyer chick from Chicago who gets just easily pushed around by this housekeeping chick who at a glance you just knew it was her. Like, what? And everything is situational. You know, it's hard for you to look at a person who you've been watching video of her saying this man is going to kill me, and you're watching video of her um, with this man in this 6 month relationship, and then you all of a sudden see this woman dressed in housekeeping. I don't think you would be able to put the two together. I think you would just, maybe later on it might bother you a little bit. Then you might do a little investigating. She didn't even do any investigating. She just straight stepped to her. It's like Tyler Perry was like, "Listen, we got, we got, 2 hours. The sun is going down. Let's get this over and done with." This scene felt super rushed. Everything felt very rushed. The scene when they were having dinner in the very beginning felt rushed. The scene when she went to that sex club felt very rushed. The scene when she was confronted by the husband, and the husband like flipped over the coffee table and was like huffing and puffing about his wife sleeping with this man. I mean, he did a decent job. That light skin, that beige rage. That beige rage. Light skin guys will be flipping out. Getting real super sensitive and stuff like that. So that was kind of realistic. But him himself, his character, his hairline in the front, I didn't get that. It looked like he was wearing a man unit, respectfully. He looked like he was wearing a man unit. So there's that. And then she calls the brother-in-law, who's the district attorney, and is like trying to convince him. Look, I just met the chick, and he's like, "All right, come back now, come back now. Like, don't stay there. Come back to Chicago." So she gets off the plane and she comes back to Chicago. I did like when the taxi cab pulled up. It was just like a regular car because so many people are doing Uber now. But I just see that this attorney would have Uber Black. It's like it's a little realistic that she would be in this Toyota Corolla getting dropped off. It didn't seem very realistic that it could be realistic if I was somewhere and I got dropped off by the Toyota Corolla Uber, and she's getting dropped off by the Toyota Corolla Uber, high end attorney, millionaire style kind of a person. That just seemed like, come on. But I digress. She gets out of the car. She goes into the house. She's at the brother-in-law's house, expecting to see the husband there, but it's just the mother, the sister-in-law, and the brother-in-law. And she walks into a room, a dark room. She made her way towards a dark room. And in this first she got an email from her private investigator who was very upset that he sent her the wrong hotel address, blah, blah, blah. That he sent her some information that I don't even think they even told us what was in the email. But this email that she got uh, basically spilled some beans where now she just became curious about the house. Now she walks into this dark room and she sees a painting there. And when we first were introduced to the sister in law at the dinner, the mother's birthday dinner, there was this situation that happened where they were talking about getting rid of the two pieces that they bought from this particular artist. So this artist is selling paintings to district attorneys' wives, right? And that this district attorney's wife is going to have to get rid of the two paintings that she owns from him because he's been accused of such a horrific deal. Now we find out that what he liked to do was he liked to his whatever his conquests were, he would do a picture of them and frame the picture. And then his next conquest, he would frame the picture of his next conquest over that picture. But it wasn't done the way most artists do it, where they actually paint on top of the original work. So you have all these people, Van Gogh and all these artists and all this. I don't know, it's not Van Gogh, but you have all these artists that did all this work. But if you look carefully, and they're finding out, if they look like with microscopes, and they can see that there's another picture embedded behind that picture, and then sometimes even another picture embedded there. So Tyler Perry was trying to play on how artists do over their paintings. But what this did was just, it was just like glued on top of the painting, and then so easily be able to pull off. Like, if you're gonna glue canvas on top of another canvas and you pull that canvas, it's not gonna come apart like that. You would need like a heat gun. But for the movie, I guess she just reached around the edge and she was able to pull off. And what she saw was her sister-in-law was in one of those pictures. One of, I guess, the two pictures that she had of this guy. So she steps out into the kitchen area where the mom, brother, and sister-in-law are there. And now there's this huge plot to kill her. These three have conspired to kill Kelly Rowland for what she saw in that room, or for what she saw in the other, when she went on that trip, that little weekender that she went to the Dominican Republic, and she spots the girl. So we now have to really quickly put together that whatever she got in the email from her investigator is now, has something to do with her sister-in-law, because now she saw the picture of her sister-in-law and, glued on to another picture. So now the three of them are trying to kill her. It was the worst fight scene you ever would see. It was, even the guy that was fighting Kelly Rowland, they were doubles, body doubles. It was horrible. Wigs looked totally like they didn't even match the color of the wig properly. It was horrible, the fight scene. And then the brother-in-law, he's like, well, the sister-in-law gets stabbed by the mom because the sister-in-law gets slapped down by the husband because she didn't stab her friend. The So he was like, stab her, like, what, with a kitchen knife? Who's stabbing people with kitchen knives? Like, like, you need to be a psychopath to do that. You just can't be like trying to keep your marriage together. So now you're gonna stab your sister-in-law. Like, what? So she was incapable of doing it. So he, of course, that beige rage, and Tyler Perry's gonna have a man slap a woman down. He slaps the wife down. Wife gets back up to help, and the mother stabs the wife. Kelly Rowland is now fighting, first initially with the mother, and now the brother-in-law. The brother-in-law are, let me see, what is this tag here? Morpheus. No, I'm not Morpheus, but I do believe in the Matrix. And that's a story for another day, even though I do have a great review on the Matrix. Um, but let me say this, I digress from that. So Kelly Rowland was able to, oh, and then there was a shot fired. He shot from inside of his house, and the bullet was CG, wait, computer generated. So yeah, so it was CG, because everything is AI. So we forget the old words like CG. It was totally CG, cartoon bullet shot to the glass, and then I guess he tried to explain Tyler Perry's uh, graphics that were going to come up, but Tyler Perry knew, so he wrote it in, and he's like, "Yeah, they're bulletproof." Like, what? Sir, that did not look like. I mean, it just looked really bad. I mean, you can get better graphics from television opposed to. Let me see what the. Nah, bro, you're Lawrence Fishburne. Okay, are you trolling me? Well, if you're gonna troll, you should donate. That's dollar sign Elvis Rosenberg. All right. about to wake my wife up and tell her you're alive. Okay, thank you. So, um, Kelly Rowland makes it out of the house, makes it into a vehicle, drives off. The mother, who's obviously a stunt double, there's no, it doesn't look realistic that this white 6-year-old woman is now on the hood of the car, and she smashes into a tree, and of course the mother goes flying out of the tree. It's flying from off the hood of the car, rolls around. You don't even know if she's dead or not. It's like he kind of was leaving you like, oh, is the mom gonna come and just stab her? Thank God he didn't do that, because that would just show really bad movie directing and writing. Ugh. So on top of everything else, so Kelly Rowland decides to run from the crash scene. She's running from the brother-in-law, who I'm sure is either running behind her or he's attending to his mother, who just got smacked off the hood of a car by hitting a tree. We don't know. All we know is that she runs down the street, and who does she run into? Her husband. And her husband is on the phone with what's supposed to be 911, which it didn't look like 911 at all. And she actually presses the Bluetooth in the car, and she can hear that he's talking to the brother. And he continued to talk to her brother as if he wouldn't have heard the surround sound. He's still on the phone with his brother, and the brother's like, "Bring her back over here. She knows everything. We got to handle this." So the brother was aware that the brother, wait, the husband, Kelly Rowland's husband, was aware that his brother's wife, and his mother were going to kill his wife. And that's like a little bit ridiculous. Like, what are we talking about here? These are not killers. These are not people that go around killing people. Well, we have the district attorney here, though, and I could see that coming from the district attorney, because what we've learned from people like Fannie Willis is that all that kind of power is like very cocky, and they just don't care about anyone themselves. So I could see him being the killer in the room, but not the mother and the wife and the husband. Like, come on. So as they're driving back towards the house, she sees a truck coming. She unbuckles his seatbelt and pushes the steering wheel over, where the husband goes through the windshield, and he's lying, most likely dead on the asphalt. He took what they call the asphalt challenge and lost. And Kelly Rowland, the camera goes away, and then you see these like police extras and news reporters telling the story about how the district attorney is going to jail. And I think Tyler Perry did this movie in 6 days. I think this is another 5, 6, 7 day movie. And I think it's time for him to stop making movies. The movie was absolutely trash. It was unbelievable. It didn't, even when they went to that sex party, there was no security at the door. She just was able to walk in, walk all the way down the stairs. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, stop it. And it was really bad. Kelly Rowland did good as far as her acting ability. The guy who's the painter didn't believe he was a painter for 1 second. His beard was too perfect. He was wearing these like gold chains every scene, except for one scene when he went to her office. He didn't have the chains on, which I thought that was a good touch. But we talking about, this guy is popping out these movies in a few days. The editing of these movies take longer than the actual filming of these movies. It's impossible for me to believe anything else. So, should you see Mea Culpa? Maybe see it with a woman. You're gonna smash afterwards, and probably after this, I'm gonna go in the room and put in that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I got it in me. It was good, like, it was good for that, it was good to stimulate the libido a little bit. But as far as to stimulate the mind and the brain and have you shocked when she walked into that room and saw this painting and the sticker behind it was her sister-in-law, and the room was like, it was that magenta, everything is magenta on the low right now. There's a lot of magenta out there. That's a story for another time. That's like a reality story, the magenta thing. And that's not what I'm doing now. But that's my review of Mea Culpa is maybe see it with your significant other and make sure the kids are not home. You don't want the kids to see this movie and have a good time. Make love to your wife, make love to your husband. Have a little bit of a, you're not, and here's another thing. Not for 1 second did I fear for Kelly Rowland's character. Not for 1 second did I think she was in danger. Not for 1 second did I not think she was going to get out that house. Not for 1 second did I not think that she was going to get out of that situation. I wasn't afraid at all. See, a good director would do that. A good director would have you afraid for the characters. You start getting like scared. Oh my God, is this person going to make it? Oh my goodness. No, no fear whatsoever. Anyway, thank you. You all appreciate it. Let me see what this person writes. She said, "You're not him, bro. Tell her you're him, fam, bro. You're a goaded actor, top 10 black actors." Okay, buddy. Don't forget the Cash App. If you got any value out of this, hit the Cash App. $ Elvis Rosenberg. Capital E V. Oh wait, capital ELVIS. Capital ROSENBERG. And it's one word. 2 capital letters.